Okay. Hi, we're live. This is my first LinkedIn or YouTube live in ages, and I thought I'd get my feet wet again by doing my first candidate profile. So we have here today Andreah Barker, who is currently open to work and actually open to a bunch of opportunities. So I'm just going to ask her a series of questions and let you get to know her a bit more about her background and just her current projects, her current interests, and what direction is, pulling her the most. So anyways, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And all right, let's start with a favorite for the job interview circuit. For those who are inexperienced job interviewers, they open an interview book and they say, tell me about yourself.
Oh, great. I love that one. Uh, so I've had a wide range of experience. I'm a creative soul and I like to explore. So I started off in dance. I have a master's degree in dance. I studied dance movement therapy in Canada and looked very specifically at working with the older adult population. I really enjoyed the research. It was original research. I got my hands on some original documents from people who pioneered the work in Canada back in the 1970s. And that's where my writing really began, my more in-depth kind of, I wrote a thesis, so kind of like a book. From there, I went on to try some project coordinating. I wanted to try more full-time work. I had, worked in restaurants through my master's degree and prior to, and I just thought, well, I'm just going to kind of branch out after working in the field for about 5 years and go into project coordinating for film and television, just to have something a little bit more stable. I wasn't getting full-time work in dance movement therapy, although it was really rewarding what I was able to get part-time at Baycrest and at the Alzheimer's Society. Anyhow, so in film, I had the opportunity to learn a whole new thing where I would actually come home and say, I learned new words today. So good. Which is fascinating. Steep learning curve in the field there for people who are not technical and have not gone to school for anything like that. So I did learn quite a bit quite quickly. And then, life changes and shifts and we move with it and flow with some things that happen. And I decided for my life at the time, I needed to be more remote again so that I could travel between a couple of cities. And we did... I went into writing and I went into ghostwriting. I was really fascinated by this idea that I could help people get their books out into the world. And so that was about 7 years ago. And I've had people ask, like, oh, do you really like that? Like you're writing the whole book and not, but the thing is I'm not all the time, but you're helping people get their book out, but your name doesn't go on it. And I actually do really enjoy that. So I've been doing that for 7 years. And in that time I've written over 20 books, different genres, some for kids, teens, adults, some fiction, some nonfiction. I'm also an artist, so I've started painting.
Yeah.
So
fantastic.
A wide range, thank you, a wide range of things. And so I do find that when I interview for jobs, that I struggle sometimes with this question because my range is so broad and the thing is right now, because it's another career shift, I am open to either sticking with, if an opportunity came that allowed me to use all of my writing and ghostwriting and those sorts of creative skills came up, 100% would be my dream.
Yeah.
But I'm also open to other.
When I coach my clients about this question, basically it's fine to do a synopsis and that, but the key is to tie it in. It's like, okay, now my focus is here, or this job is of interest to me because I'm good at A, B, C, and yeah. So that's usually the finishing touch that's often forgotten. But okay, so what is, you kind of already touched on this. What is your current focus in terms of your job search?
In terms of my job search right now, I am really interested in, I've been researching AI as an opportunity and as a tool for augmentation rather than replacement. So looking at how it helps my creative process, researching the different tools and exploring how it can create opportunities for humanity to live more, I know this is so idealistic, but I'm going to say it, like more fulfilling and abundant lives. Like there's this idea that, there's this one idea that things go terribly, terribly wrong. And we see all those options and have watched those movies. Yeah. But then there's also this idea that what if we did allow it to create this incredible abundance for humans in some different way. And I don't know if that's possible, but in terms of writing, so bring my thoughts back down to earth, I'm fascinated by looking at AI in the creative fields and how it will shift and change the way we work as creative artists. And then it also begs the question, I've been thinking about this a lot today because I'm going to write some articles on, what is the human experience and what makes us human, and then how can this possible shift and change in the way we work help us to be more human?
Okay.
Yeah.
So has your exploration with it, has it been mostly through augmenting your writing, or what other aspects have you tried it out or experimented?
So I've started with augmenting my own writing, again, not as a way for it to fully write a book for me, which I've seen some people doing, but more as a way to get off the blank page and to brainstorm. And so I've created this project called Me and My Echo, and I anthropomorphize like almost everything. Like I've named all my plants. I cried at the IKEA lamp commercial. So my AI is named Echo, and I actually created a little GPT within the chat GPTs named Echo, so I can speak with Echo. So the book is called Me and My Echo, but meta within, there is also a Sadie and an Echo, and she's been diagnosed with early onset dementia. And so exploring how kind of if there was a weird merge, which opens up a lot of questions about humanity, robots, consciousness, our own individuality, and all these sorts of themes. So working with, am I just going on and on? I think
This is anyways, taking hold of you. Yeah, it's
so anyway, the whole thing is just kind of looking at, I wanted to explore AI, specifically ChatGPT. I wanted to explore just a couple of platforms because there's so many coming out there right now, just to see its growth kind of from the early stages, which I started doing it about a year ago, but then really got into it in January again, just to see through this rapid growth phase, like what changes and how it changes. So really fascinated by that process. So simple answer to your question, augment your own writing and to learn about the tool.
okay. Yeah, I've seen some of your posts about Echo and about other AI stuff, and just a quick glance at your profile, because I always do that for my clients or even non-clients, and there needs to be more reference to that on your profile, or even just in the media section.
Okay.
Yeah, just to showcase it more. But so their interview/coaching session, just because I can't stop. It's okay. Okay, so your current focus. So what would be your ideal opportunity if something came into your inbox today, tomorrow, whatever, or a phone call?
I think ideally what I'd be looking for is, again, something in the tech field, AI, film, how they're exploring the integration of AI into workflows and combining either project coordination or a creative writing role exploration within that.
Okay. And then actually, let's talk about your experience as a project coordinator in film and TV. What was your most, I guess, most challenging project in your time in that field?
There were different challenges, I think, to every project. But I think which one do I talk about? The last one that I think was really interesting, but a little bit tough, was that there were 600 shots. It was with Spin VFX, and so just that sheer amount of knowledge to wrap your head around when shots are due, delivering shots. I mean, as a coordinator, I have a lot of people above me helping me do those sorts of things, but just the sheer amount of work and learning within the show as well. There were lots of builds, so understanding the pipeline from, like, say, there's a dragon from scratch, so understanding how that gets created and which different departments do the different things. And that's a very simplified way of saying it, but when you're new, you're just like, oh wow, okay, we're creating something from nothing, and it's so cool, but how? So
and then in your time as a coordinator, or even when you had to fill in as project manager, what did people consistently ask you for your help with, or for your advice about?
I think often, well, with the very busy shows, you're often just helping get things done and out on time, making sure meetings are set up. You're really just there to support getting things flowing and out the door, and making sure that notes are recorded correctly so that things are being done correctly, and those sorts of things. With the project man, again, it was a very, very short time. I think I just had to step in and make a couple of unexpected decisions. So contacting the right people, making sure I was doing the right thing, that sort of thing. I need to understand for myself often the workflow. So if someone says, okay, this needs to get done, I work back to the beginning and try to figure out or figure out exactly what steps need to be taken, even if it's a process I don't know. So I'll reach out for help if I can get it, if not, I'll figure it out.
Okay. And here's another way to ask that. Throughout your career, what have people consistently, like the situation, if someone, you get a sudden phone call or someone comes barging into your office and says, Andrea, thank God I found you. Can you please help me with fill in the blank?
Oh, geez. That's interesting. That's a tough question for me because I've been on my own for so long. No one barges in my door.
Or calls you suddenly, or just says, "Drop everything, please help me with."
Please help me with. I think, you know what, I think it's clients often, I'm just going to shift focus here and come back to the book writing. Often clients have a hard time navigating what to do with their book once it's done. And while that's not in my wheelhouse, they'll often message and say, most recently a client is creating a course and has hit some stumbling blocks on creating that course. So he said, I just don't even know what to do anymore. I'm so frustrated. He's got this great book and a lot to teach people, and the course would be really, really great. So I just went through and did a bunch of research and said, you know what, I can help you with this. So does that answer your question? I think if people don't know what to do, they can trust that I will be honest and tell them either I can't do it or I'll try and figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I don't lie. I don't try to say, oh, I'm an expert in this now because I've been doing it for.
Yeah. You know your limitations, you know your strengths. And then we talked about your ideal work situation. What situations do you want to avoid like the plague?
Avoid like the plague. It's funny right now. I'm so open to a lot of different things. I think I'd like the work to be creative, so I'd like to avoid not being creative. I would probably avoid someone who felt I had to be back in the office full time. Mm-hmm. I think that's really one of the only things. I've really developed the skill of being able to work from home and proven that I can be efficient from home and enjoy the freedom of that. And there's a lot of value in that for me. So
good. Yeah, that makes sense. And yes. All right. That's most of my questions. Is there anything you'd like to add for potential employers that you'd like them to know about you, or?
That's an interesting question. I think I'm easy to work with. I think that's valuable, and I will always
around people. Yes. You can be around people.
Oh, I can. I like being around people. Like I said, I don't even mind that kind of going in once in a while, and I do love being social and often have people here. So I think I'm easy to work with, and people have enjoyed working with me. So
good.
I don't know. That's
it. Awesome. Okay. All right. And then I've put this in the blurb, but how can people get in touch with you?
They can go, I have a website, sadietellsstories.ca, and my email is hello@sadietellsstories.ca. You can reach me there. You can also message me here on LinkedIn.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much. And thank you everyone for watching.